Which NVMe SSD is the right one for you? PCI Gen 4 versus the PCI Gen 5 SSDs. Today we are diving into a topic that every PC enthusiast, gamer, professional editor has wondered about at some point. Well, which NVMe SSD is the right one for you? Should you stick with Gen 4 or is it time to go all in with the Gen 5 NVMe SSDs? If you have been scratching your head over the price differences, performance gaps, or just figuring out which SSD fits your use case, don't worry. This video will break down everything from price trends in India all the way to my top picks for gaming, editing, office work, laptop, and even PS5. So grab your choice of poison, sit back, and let's find out which SSD is worth your money in 2025. Alright, let's start with the most obvious question. Price difference between Gen 5 and Gen 4. Well, it's not just about speed, it's also about the price. Now, in India, Gen 5 drives are insanely expensive. I'm talking about a minimum price difference of up to 120% to 140% compared to Gen 4 drives. And let me tell you, availability is still pretty scarce. If you check popular Indian hardware website, you'll see Gen 5 drives are mainly aimed at niche users who absolutely need the blazing fast performance. On the other hand, the gap between Gen 3 and Gen 4 SSD is much more reasonable, only about 10% to 20%. That's why Gen 4 has become the go-to choice for most gamers and professionals. So unless you're someone who deals with massive data transfers, runs heavy workloads where every second counts, Gen 4 is still the sweet spot for price to performance. Now let's dive into why you should pick and which you should pick with some solid recommendations of mine. Best SSDs for gaming with Kuro's picks. Let's talk gaming. If you're a gamer, at least 1 TB of Gen 4 SSD is what I'd recommend because game sizes are getting ridiculous. We're seeing titles easily crossing 100 GB and some games require even more space. Plus, the total load times on Gen 4 SSDs are already blazing fast. Honestly, the jump to Gen 5 won't make much of a difference for gaming alone. It's just not worth the massive price hike in most cases. Now, my top pick for the gamers has to be the crucial P3 Plus 1 TB Gen 4 NVMe SSD, and let me tell you why. It has a rated endurance of 220 TB of write with 5 years of warranty and sequential write speeds and read speeds of 5000 megabits and write speeds of 3600 megabits. Plenty fast for any modern game. And it has excellent thermal performance too. Under any of our load testing, the drive never went above 70 degrees Celsius. And we saw no read and write speed drop. And here's the best part, it's damn affordable. Priced around 5,000 to 5,500 in India as of December 2024. It's a steal for the performance you are getting. For those of you who need even more storage but can't stretch your budget, you can pair this SSD with a secondary drive like a SATA SSD or even a hard drive. But if you can afford, sticking to SSDs for storage is always the better idea. That's it for today's video on gaming SSDs. But here the real question today is that which SSD will reign supreme for the PS5 year?